So thank you. I want to ask if there are any questions that you had hoped that I might ask you, Karen, that I didn't, or if there's any final word of hope or encouragement you can offer our listeners. And then, of course, I'd like to talk a little bit about your upcoming hot project. Okay?
Sure. I figure just one more thing I think will really help, because I'm a picture person. In addition, when I'm sharing a story with someone is, I didn't always remember that lovely story about the mason jar and the rocks. So if you just give me a minute to explain.
Sure.
But I think maybe when I was a young business person and no less a young wife, that I took that mason jar and crammed as much sand as I could, and then occasionally took a little bit out to squeeze a rock or so in, and didn't realize until much later in life that the big rocks, which are my faith, my family, my purpose, and have to go in first. And then the smaller rocks, which are, about the organizations I'm involved in and the people I want to help and the other things that make my life good, but that are not if I can't have them, I can't make this life work, have to come in next. And then the sand, which are all the to-do lists and the grocery shopping and the laundry and all the other things that have to be done, whether we like it or not, can still squeeze in all the little cracks that are left over. And then that cup of coffee can always be poured in afterwards till it's filled to the absolute brim with joy and love and enjoyment. So I'm so glad that I can say at this stage of my life that I know what the big rocks are, that I always try to be sure to get those in first, but that there's always room for a little bit extra as long as the big ones go in first.
I love that. I love that metaphor, too. So thank you for lifting that up and for sharing it with our listeners. I'm a visual person, too, so I'm imagining my own mason jar right now. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So, Karen, would you, I know that you have lots of things going on in your life. I know that you've, received kudos and awards in your community. Is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners today about, just any big project that you're working on so that we can lift you up and support you in that?
I would love that. Yes, I'm excited to say that for the second time now I will do what I'm calling Design 2019. It's a vision retreat, so an all-day dive into who you are, what you want, and what you want to design for the upcoming year. So to give you some background, I say I teach, most certainly, priority-wise, the things that I struggle with the most. And as much as I am a numbers person, a plan, structure, process person, I could just as soon do someone else's before I would do my own. And if I haven't learned anything in the 5 years of owning my own business, is that sometimes I have to get out of it and stand on the outside and look at it and make sure it's doing what I want and intend for it to do. So sometimes I can get lost in prioritizing other people's work and not really direct my own path. So 2 years ago, I did the first one, which allowed me, as I start with, what did I do well last year? What do I want to do more of? What I want to stop doing? And what do I need to do less of? And by just answering some simple questions, and then, as I say, dreaming, what would my best year look like if I could spend more time with my family, if I could have that one big make memory trip, and if I could make some financial progress in my business so I could do more and volunteer more and invest more, what would that look like? And then in an 8-hour day to actually say, so what could I do starting tomorrow to start to make that path come to fruition for the coming year? It's such an empowering thing, and it was so much missing in my own life that I thought, if it's missing for me, it's got to be missing for other people too.
Yes.
And I feel like my journey as the soulpreneurship can be better served if I can walk that with someone else. So if I can get better at it, I can help someone else to get better at it too. And it's so empowering to be able to have people on your side to encourage and support you, but also to have some specific, hard plans and time frames. It's that concept of if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Well, it's
Amen.
no different for what you want to accomplish or you want to make happen in the upcoming year.
Yes.
So I'm excited. From Pensacola Beach, where even in January, the view is beautiful because the waves are still crashing on the shore. And to be able to just spend the whole day planning what you want to happen in your life. You know, I say, if it's the same day a year later, will you be proud and happy of what you've been able to plan, what rocks you've put in your jar, or will you be disappointed that they've continued to not be what you planned and not another year older and not doing what you want and were designed to do in this life?
Well said.
You got it.
I love the way that you set it up, Karen. You said that you teach what you struggle with the most, which adds, I'm sure, a deeper layer for the people who come, because you know you're walking your talk.
Yes. I say if I don't help you do it, I won't do it for me either, because it's so much easier to do it for someone else.
I got it. Do you use that big rocks metaphor in your design, your vision retreat?
Absolutely. I even have my own I have pink golf balls I use for my big rocks. I have a big mason jar. I buy a bag of sand every year. Yes, I most certainly do, because I love that picture.
Absolutely. And I love how you're bringing the specific part of yourself together and that, you know, that relational piece. So you have a very holistic day planned for folks who come. So I wish you well. I know that our listeners wish you well. And I'm just so delighted, again, to have you just pour into the lives of lots of people all around the world, Karen. I so appreciate you, and I appreciate how you are just bringing it, girl. You know, passing it on and keeping on. So thank you again.
Miss Gloria, you have been a real blessing in my life. I've said that from the very beginning. I know God aligned our steps to cross when he deemed it was necessary and worthwhile, and I can't thank you enough, not only for me being able to share a little bit of my story today, but just you being in my life and always leaving your fingerprint on me.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen Aloy, for being our guest today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gloria.
Oh, what a great conversation today. Thanks again to my very special guest, Karen Aloy. If you'd like to learn more about Karen or her work, you can get more info on her website. That website is www.karenaloy.com. www.karenaloy.com. I'm going to spell it out one more time. www.karenal, that's one L, ALOY.com. You will find all kinds of wonderful resources on her website. If you missed any part of this week's broadcast about big rocks, you can listen to the podcast right here on Talk Network Radio. You can also catch us in lots of other places, including iTunes, Android Alexa, and Spreaker.com. Yes, I said Spreaker, Spreaker.com. Before I close today's show, I just want to give a shout-out to all of you, all of my listeners out there around the world. You are amazing folks who know now about the power of putting the big rocks first in your own life and helping other people do the same. That is a game changer that makes a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. Putting the big rocks in the mason jar first. You can make a difference day by day, step by step, moment by moment, smile by smile, every single day, 365, 24/7. If you happen to miss any part of this week's podcast, or if you missed last week's show, you can listen to the podcast at your convenience. You can even listen to it on the go. Check us out at www.talknetworkradio.com talknetworkradio.html. That's talknetworkradio.com/legacyliving.html. Before I say goodbye today, I want to thank each of you for tuning in to today's show, for allowing me to share a bit about my journey with what legacy living is all about. Not just living and learning, but living and learning and serving so that you make a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. It's about being on purpose every single day, 365, 24/7. Legacy living is one of the many ways to make your life count. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me for today's show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, and this has been Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. Please join me again next week right here on Talk Network Radio for another show of Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. Don't just count the days in your life. Make the days in your life count. That's what legacy living is all about. Have a fantastic day, and remember, make the days in your life count. God bless you. That's our show today. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess. I hope you'll join me again next week. Until then, don't just count the days in your life. Make the days in your life count. That's what legacy living is all about. Here's to you. Have a fantastic day. Be sure to make it a yes kind of day. And remember, celebrate. Celebrate the music of your life. Make the days in your life count.